In today's episode of Building Flex Storefront, we'll install the AutoRoute package into our open source e-commerce app.
Hi, Stefan.
How are
Hello,
you doing?
viewers. Good, good. Okay, so we left last time with the very raw Flutter create results. We just integrate Crashlytics, Firebase, including Crashlytics. So it doesn't really touch the Flutter widget yet, but that's what we will do today. So
Perfect.
today we will set up, declare the skeleton of the application, so the different pages, see how we can navigate from page to another, getting back, switch tabs, etc., etc.
Great. This is exciting. So we're actually going to start seeing an e-commerce application with home,
Yep.
checkout, cart, all these kind of navigatable pages, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And more interesting call to action than the +1 button we have
Great.
now. Before we start integrate the navigation package and everything, let's do a bit of cleanup in our code main file. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we have a unique main.dart file. This one here has been generated last time with Firebase, but this one containing our whole counter application. It contains the main function, which is the entry point, and this main function calls run app on an app widget. This app widget is declared below. It instantiates a material app with a home page. So in this file we have three things: the main function, the app widget, and the page widget. So I think we can start by splitting all those three in different files to see clear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
A little
let's do this.
separation of concerns there.
Exactly. So let's create an app.dart file and create a home page file, which would be in an home page folder, home folder, sorry. Here we go. So in that home page, I can create a home page widget. This widget will be just, let's start with a scaffold. Body will be a center with a text inside. I call it home page. So we start building UI. So this widget home page will replace this one.
Okay.
So let's remove it completely. And now the app will be a stateful widget. Let's just call it app because we only have one material.
Yeah.
And
And so while you do
declare
this, if
material.
we're thinking about our widget tree, I guess what we're going for is our main file, which will run our material app that will live at the app level of the widget tree. And it will kind of wrap probably most of the navigation, most of the pages, as well as do a little bit of state management, maybe at the highest level. And then under that, we're going to be running our homepage stateless widget. And that's where we'll start to see our screens.
Exactly. So Material App is also a convenience widget offered by the Flutter SDK, more at the app level. So it will take care about global things like the navigator, the theme, the app name, etc. So we have a couple of libraries here. Like I said, the theme, the title, the action, blah, blah, blah. We have different properties related to the navigation. We have initial route, we have navigator key, navigator observer, ungenerate route, etc. So we can see a lot of properties dedicated to navigation. But what we will use for now is the same as before, just the home, which define a very simple navigator, the most basic navigator you can imagine, with just like one page in it. And this page will be our home page. There we go.
And last week we talked about the built-in navigation within Flutter. So I'm guessing through the Material app, those onGenerate route, those navigation functions are all the out-of-the-box Flutter navigation.
Yep, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So for now, we are using the standard out-of-the-box Navigator API shipped in the Flutter SDK, and later we will integrate a library which provide an abstraction on top of this basic navigation API.
Got it. Okay.
And let's rename it Flex Storefront. And now I can move that. I need to import my app. Here we go. So we have now the purest, simplest app we can imagine. We have the main file that run this app, and this app is made of just one page for now. So let's try this.
There's our homepage.
Here's our home page. Very simple. I mean, maybe a bit too much simple. Maybe we can have a little app bar in it. So let's use the scaffold widget to quickly define an app bar, which will be title text, and this text will be Flex Storefront. We will see if we keep it or not, but just for now. Oh, not a consent. Okay. Here we go.
Awesome.
Good. Yeah, you're right. It's white, or maybe that's why there was this color defined here, color scheme.
Right. So if we bring the theme back, we can actually specify a material theme from seed, a seed color.
Yeah,
in this case, deep purple. Yeah, we can bring that in.
Let's add that.
And maybe in the future we'll talk a little bit about theming. Specifically, we gotta have dark mode at some point here, and we can talk about how the Material app can take on different themes based on color scheme. And there's a number of different ways we can use theme builders, things like that. Discuss in the future.
It's still all white. What happened?
I wonder if that's the default in Material 3 for the app bar.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
it is. There we go.
Yep. Okay. So let's
Google
use
changing things up on us.
Okay, so you were right, I think. Oh, well. So yeah, material free is by default, so I can remove that, and it's the same. Yeah.
And we'll just have a color scheme seeded from the
Exactly.
purple. Great.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about navigation library now. We can not using it, and we can, instead of having this home param, just have a non-generate route, and which would be a function to instantiate the right widget based on the selected route, the current route, and then an array of routes. So we can really have a whole application declared in the standard Flutter navigation API, but by using a library like AutoRoute, it makes easier the declaration of library and navigation patterns. So we have a couple of different navigation libraries. At the time of recording, I would say there is, I don't know, 3 main one.
Okay.
One is, let's open their page actually. One is GoRouter, and the other one I can think about is Beamer.
I have heard less and less about Beamer. I've seen most of the community starting to go towards GoRouter actually, but I think, and we'll talk about the differences, but I think you mentioned AutoRoute might be the way we go for this project.
Yeah, so I like GoRouter. I used it as well. I think it lacks a bit of control when you have nested navigator, because very quickly you can came to the point where you have nested navigator. If you have a tab, and inside each tab you have a navigator, because you can have a list and detail page, etc. inside the different tabs. So you end up with like 2 or even 3 levels of navigator, and sometimes you need to access not to the parent navigator but to the grandparent, and it's a bit trickier to do in GoRouter. Whereas AutoRoute give you a complete control of which navigator you want to interact with. And it kept more or less the conciseness, the light verbosity of GoRouter. GoRouter is very simple, no boilerplate really, so easy to use. We want to create an e-commerce app with more page, etc. So I would go with AutoRoute directly. It's a bit more verbose. There was a bit more boilerplate, but it rely on code generation to mitigate the problem.
For sure. And in an enterprise app, we're definitely going to benefit from a lot of different tabs. We're going to have a lot of different screens. This is a larger application. So for something simple, maybe GoRouter, is quick and easy to use. But I think AutoRoute gives us that, like you said, flexibility to really have a many different types of pages and navigate easily between all of them.
Yeah, exactly. And to close the topic on Beamer, Beamer is even further on that spectrum. So Beamer is a bit lower level, and I think that's maybe why it's less and less used, maybe because it's a bit complex. The advantage of it is you can literally do every pattern you want, everything you want.
Okay, let's get started with AutoRoute then. We can
Let's
talk
go.
through installation and bring it in.
So let's start by using the library. So I can import it. I put that in my dependency list. Let's do a bit of cleanup in that pod spec, by the way. So I like to have my dependencies sorted by alphabetical order, and then I can remove some comment. So I imported AutoRoute. I also need to import AutoRoute generator, which is the code gen for AutoRoute.
So this will allow us to write a single Dart file with probably decorators. And then from those decorators, we're actually going to run code gen through that build runner package that will generate
Exactly.
all of the code we need to really use the navigation and the routes in different ways.
Exactly. And it provides different nice things like type safe, enumeration for the parameters, stuff like that. For AutoRoute generator to work, I need to import buildrunner. Buildrunner is used by any CodeGen dependency, and I keep the version loose because I let Flutter PubGet to choose the right version depending on the dependency constraint between those libraries. Good. So let's now run Flutter pub get to import it. Okay, so I need to create a router, which is a class that extends a superclass generated by the CodeGen. Good. And I will create at the root level of the app a file named router.dart, and that will be my router. And I will declare my route here. Next thing I need to do is to create, put that decorator on top of my home page. Same thing, I import that. And I have some compilation errors on this because this is not generated yet. So we will run the generation command, and hopefully everything will get in order.
So just so we understand, instead of defining our routes like we talked about directly in the Material app, in this case, we're going to define them in a separate file, which will hold all our router configuration, use CodeGen to generate the routes with other decorators and descriptors and type safety, like you mentioned, and then bring those into our Material app instead of directly explicitly defining them.
Exactly. My file is named router.dart, so the generated counterpart is named router.gr.dart, so I can update this. Here we go.
Here we go.
So let's take a look at the generated file. So this is it. It has generated a utility class to access to my home page. So it's the home route. So every time I'm adding route to adding pages to my application, this file will grow. Can eventually become a monster, but like it generates.
That's okay.
It's
generated
so
good.
Yeah, exactly. You can trust you have actually to trust the library to do a good job because you don't really maintain that code.
Right.
That being said, it's still legible and you can easily debug inside of it, etc. So now I can define my route. That would be the next step here.
There we go.
Here we go. And now I need to use that router here. So MaterialApp has a special constructor for usage with a router. So I can, instead of using the default constructor here, I can use MaterialApp.router. And it's in different files, so I need to import it as well. I need to instantiate it. What does that instance came from? Okay, it's here. Good. Make sure you don't initiate your router inside of the build function, otherwise you will instantiate the whole thing every time the build is called.
Right.
So let's do that once at the beginning. Here we go. So just to summarize, before we had home page here, which is directly the widget I wrote. So I removed that, and instead I'm using the app.router.config, and that config will be related to my home page route with all the AutoRoute generated boilerplate.
Great.
And it should work exactly the same as before.
And one important thing to note that I saw is right there we have on line 11 home route.page. So I think AutoRouter is automatically taking our home page and rewording it to home route. And I think there's a default that can be overridden, if I'm not mistaken, in the documentation.
Yes. In the router config, yes, it's that param. Yeah. I left it with the default. I don't really care if my route is home route or home page route or route page. Nice. Okay, I can start that now. So I still have errors, but those are in test.
Yeah, and that's just because we've been renaming and restructuring this, and so the tests are going to fail for now.
Okay, it's a blank screen, which in my opinion is a bad sign. Oh yeah. Even there is just one route, you don't know that the initial one. Say it explicitly.
Okay.
Here we go.
There we go.
Same result as before. There is two different ways of doing things. You can use navigation and the different push, pop, route, etc. By imperative programming, by really pushing the route itself, or you can abstract that with names and route names, which are more similar to URL on web. So he don't know initial true. So I need initial true in order to instantiate the first page, otherwise AutoRoute don't know that, but I can actually give it a name. So if I do path slash, it's he will know it's the root page.
Okay, the equivalent of a root page there. And then
exactly.
We'll bring that up as initial.
Exactly.
Okay.
The difference with that is like you will navigate to that page with the name slash.
Okay. Okay. And I'm guessing if we have path strings for each of our routes, that we can navigate using both. We can go navigate named and go directly to a named path, or we could say push. For instance, if it's a dialogue or something that's just going to pop on top and pop off later.
I like the name scheme because having like not URL but like pseudo descriptive string that led to the page make the app more deep link friendly. So you can imagine sending a push notification with the deep link inside of it and saying like home, shop, detail, PDP, whatever. And if that deep link URL match a portion of the path inside the app, it's easier. Like it's a one line to open the right page.
Right. We don't have to worry about pushing multiple pages on top of each other.
Exactly.
Exactly.
If you don't use name routes in the app, you have to like split the URL by segment, and for each segment, find the corresponding navigator, navigate to the page, then do the same for the child, etc., etc., etc.
Okay.
Good.
So we've got navigation. We've got a single route working.
Yeah.
And I think maybe next let's look at a bottom navigation bar.
Yeah. Next in the next video or next now? We have time, I think.
We've got time, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think
Let's do this.
we can make a couple more pages? Just some
Uh,
sample dummy pages for, shop,
yeah.
categories, cart.
Let's go. So most of the e-commerce application have a bottom navigation bar at the bottom. Well, bottom navigation bar, and with like a shop, my account, and like the home page itself, which would be like a welcome page, something like that.
Right. So we can
So
put some dummy pages in for home, shop, cart, and
yeah,
profile, maybe.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Shop. So shop page. The dot. Another one. Cart, you said.
Let's put the cart at the
Cart.
bottom for now.
Okay. And
Maybe
then
account.
And the code will be very simple, so we can just copy paste what is currently in the home page. So let's replace home by shop.
Great.
Good.
Okay, we've got 4 dummy pages.
4 dummy pages, but now we need to create a 5th one, which would be the shell around those.
Right.
The one that is actually hosting the bottom navigation bar. And
Okay.
then those 4 will be the tab content.
So this is where AutoRoute, and we talked about nested navigation, and the way it lines up, with the widget tree, is going to come in handy, right? Because we can now have our shell at the top level, at the app level, and then underneath there, hosting our bottom navigation bar, and then for each tab, start to have a tab navigation that has nested routes within it.
Exactly. So let's do this. I created a route page. So we won't have that body here because this page will instantiate the nested navigator. So this nested navigator will be AutoRoute widget, AutoRouter widget. AutoRouter widget. And I think I just need that. Oh, wait, there is a better one, which is a tab AutoRoute. So the body will be the nested navigator, and then we need the bottom bar, navigation bar. This bar will have item, and those items will be bottom navigation bar item, icon widget that take the icon data.
And I believe in the body that you're looking for is either you can use AutoTabsRouter or AutoTabScaffold.
Oh, it's AutoTabsRouter. Yeah. Nice. Thanks. And takes a couple of routes.
Yeah, I think we can either use the page view, which is kind of what we're going for, or
this is what I want to achieve.
Manually. Yeah, we can do it custom there because then we have access to transition builder and
exactly. So I don't define the scaffold with the bottom navigation bar directly in my shell. I define it inside the builder function of the TabRouter.
Okay.
This is correct. So let's go. So let's just cut that. It's the AutoTabRouter. It takes a couple of routes and a builder. And that builder is a function with
context
2 arguments, I believe, context and child. And the role of that builder is to return the UI of that shell. So it would be what I just cut. Here we go. And the content, the body, of that scaffold will be the child. So it takes the route here, and the route will be my home, cart, shop, account page.
And by having the bottom navigation bar and actually the scaffold within the builder method, we have access to the child. We can render that page that's showing up, but we also have access to the auto tab, the current index of which tab we're actually on, to re-render
Yeah,
that bottom navigation bar with a current different colored icon or something like that.
yeah, selected tabs or yeah.
Great. Okay.
So in order to add my route here, I need to use the generated code, and that generated code is not up to date because I created all those pages. So I will rerun that method, and I have the same problem with the import. I need to import them, and now I can declare them in my tab router. It's the constructor of the home route.
Mm.
Uh,
Shop
shop,
and cart and account.
and here. And we need also a bottom bar item for each one of those. In terms of icon, yeah, shopping carts, this is obvious. Like the icons, for the account, we like the
You could use person,
person, yeah. Oh yeah, nice.
and
And
for the shop, you could use storefront
magnifier,
if you have access to
storefront,
storefront.
storefront, yes, good.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay,
And I guess we'll need to specify an on tap and a current index for the bottom navigation bar.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't work on its own, right? I think we can still check the UI. What do you think?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay, so I need to update the declaration of pages. So I need to declare the shell root and its fourth children. I need to go here. So my initial page with the path, the simplest path possible, slash, won't be my home page. It will actually be my shell, my root page.
Mm,
We'll be declaring that children array, and that will be home, like we said, home, home route,
I think we need to
page
declare
info.
a new auto route.
Oh yeah, what is it? Oh, right, yes. Route dot page, and we have shop,
Cart
cart, yeah,
and account route.
account route.
And do we want to go ahead
Good.
and name those paths as well?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
exactly. So on page would be home. You notice that I don't put a slash before because the actual name of this route will be slash shop, which
Mm,
decompose into slash that instantiate the root page, and then shop will be the content of that inside that root page.
got it. So it's going to
Cart,
append each path name onto the previous.
yeah. So your naming plan need to be in sync with the the nested router
Right.
to work efficiently. Here we go. And this navigator, the main one, the root navigator, will know which page to instantiate because there is only one and we give it the name slash. But the nested navigator, the tab router in it, won't know which of those to instantiate. So I need to actually give my home the initial true param.
Right. Makes sense. So this time we actually need it to set the homepage as initial.
Exactly. Let's go. Okay.
Looks right. It's
Yeah,
working.
progress. Okay, so the problem is we have two app bars, so I'm guessing there is two scaffold nesting one in each other,
Hmm.
and we don't have any bottom nav bar on display unless it's white on white. That
Interesting.
could be something. Uh, let's troubleshoot that immediately, actually, by maybe we can just to check if it's white. Where what? Yeah, it was in team. Use
Within our theme
material
data,
free
set
false.
it back to material 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
not our
still
issue.
no. Okay, so let's take a look at what is happening. So we have that root page, which is the router containing a scaffold, and that scaffold have an app bar, and that body is a child, and the child will be the nested route, and that nested route in that case is home page, which
Is
is
also
already
a
a
scaffold.
scaffold with an app bar. So I will
Hmm.
actually remove this one instead,
Okay.
and maybe having a custom uh, title here, like home.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
is that better? Still, the bottom nav bar missing is a mystery. Yeah, but there is a weird thing in the material design specification where the bottom nav bar have more than, I think it's 3. So if I need
Hmm.
3, it works, but
Right.
4, it does something. I don't remember what it was, but I know I encountered this error before, and I know there is a param for that.
Right. I think it's called shifting. I think you're looking for the type on the sorry, type
Oh,
and bottom
bottom nav bar.
navigation bar type
Yeah,
fixed.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think what Flutter
All
does
right.
is when it has more than 3 items, it actually needs to shift where those are, and so it sets them all to white.
Yeah, fixed.
Fixed.
Good. Nice. So the UI is good, but I think that doesn't work, right? Yeah, because we haven't done anything for that to be working.
Right. There's no onTap function now in the bottom nav bar.
Exactly.
So you're
Oh
obtaining the
yeah,
context of the tabs router, and then we can use that tabs router to actually set the active index.
exactly. That here. So tab router is read from context.
And in this case, it's going to the context, and it's literally the widget above that wraps it, which is the AutoTabsRouter.
Exactly. So on tap, I order the parent to actually change the active index. It will refresh the child, and the child will be my, uh, well, it will call that builder again. So that builder will be able to refresh my view with the correct index and show the correct page.
All right, let's use that hot reload function and give it a try.
Nice.
Hey, there we
Look at
go.
that. Oh, we switch. Look at that. We switch account is cart, but cart is account. So it's here in the route. Home, shop, cart.
Mm,
Oh, yeah, it's here. Here we go.
there we go. Great.
Yeah, I think we can call it a day.
Yeah, with that, we have our navigation running within the app. Um, we've got different scaffold pages set up, ready to go. And I guess soon we can start actually building out these pages and making it look even more like an e-commerce app.
Yeah, exactly. So I think next step will still be about the navigation because we haven't finished yet. Like this shop page here is just that, but actually it will contain more. It will contain the PDP, PLP category list. We'll really navigate and browse an entire catalog inside that tab. So we will, instead of having a simple page here, we will have actually AutoRoute, another AutoRouter
Mm. And we'll really
which
get into
allows
the
us to.
nested navigation at that point.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. Well, stay tuned for episode 4 where we go into nested navigation part 2.
Yeah,
Awesome.
nice.
All right. Thanks very much, Nico.
Thanks, Steven. Bye.
As usual, there's links to our GitHub and our Discord in the description below. See you next week.